These parts take effort. I know it's not something you can just wake up and decide to, to travel, but they give you real stability and a future in the UK, and they ensure that you have the type of career that you want to build for yourself. So think about this. So do not just jackpot, okay? Jackpot with sense. That's my advice. Jackpot with sense. Jackpot for a very, very long term, not jackpot and then after like few months they deport you back, or you start suffering, people don't know where you are, they cannot hear from you and the likes. Jackpot with sense, okay? So before you make a decision that could ruin your future, think carefully. The UK cracks down hard on overstayers, okay? And if you've already overstayed and watching this video, my advice is to seek legal advice instead of hiding, okay? Stop hiding, please. Just seek legal advice and know the right step or the next step to take. If you're thinking of overstaying, stop and plan properly, okay? Thank you very much for listening to this video and the piece of advice I have given to you. If you found this video very helpful, please hit. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian, and on this channel we talk a lot about immigration, life abroad, my experiences in the UK. I kind of focus more in the UK, but I believe that at some point I'll also be giving you content outside the UK. So today we're going to dive into one of the biggest mistakes that people make, one of the biggest topics that people don't like to hear about. And this is about coming to the UK or planning to come to the UK with a visitor visa and planning to overstay or already overstaying in the UK. I've spoken to a lot of people, and one of the things that come to their mind is that once I enter the UK, I'll figure it out. Come on, the simple truth is, do not try to figure it out once you enter. Overstaying in the UK can actually ruin your future and leave you trapped in a very, very difficult situation. If you're planning to travel, or you know someone who is thinking of traveling in this way, please watch this video to the end. I will explain why it is a terrible idea, the consequences, and the right way to move or stay in the UK. Please stop thinking that whenever you come to the UK, you figure it out, or you definitely look for a way to survive. The key points I'll talk about in this video, we address that concern, and hopefully will be able to make you think twice and also make your informed decision. Why do people overstay? Let's start with reasons that people overstay in the UK using a UK visa. Many people believe this myth: I'll enter the UK and find work. This is a false perception or a false belief. A visitor is not allowed to work in the UK. Just know that. You cannot work, you cannot do business, okay? And you can only take very, very emergency treatments. Some people will say, okay, I will marry someone and I'll get my papers. Do you know how many people in the UK that are looking for people that they will marry and get their papers, and yet they have not seen? This is another misconception. Immigration laws in the UK are very, very strict, especially on marriage frauds. If you're planning to come to the UK and probably go into one of these marriages that are not real, even with a visitor visa, you cannot marry in the UK. You have to go outside the UK to get married. So please stop thinking about that. Another thing is, some people will say, okay, I can hide and I will survive. Don't even think about it. You have no right, no legal jobs, no right to rent. So you cannot rent a house or a room. You'll be staying and squatting with people. Also, you will not be able to have stability. How will you feed yourself? If you've left family back home, how are you going to cope? How are you going to be sending them money? People make these mistakes, okay? And because what causes it is that because they are desperate, they don't realize that life is very hard in the UK. Even with people that have papers, it's very, very hard. And then imagine that you don't have any legal status to stay in the UK. Life will be very, very hard. And a lot of the people I know that have overstayed, they regretted overstaying, because some of them, they didn't even get their papers up to like 15, 20 years. And they end up spending lots of money on lawyers to judge the case with immigration. At the end of the day, either they get refused, or they will fight for a very long time before they eventually get accepted. And let's say they come into the UK when they are younger. By the time they eventually get their stay, they will definitely be older. So please don't be frustrated. Think twice before thinking of coming to the UK. Another thing is, there are so many harsh consequences actually. One of them is re-entry ban. So if you overstay in the UK, or if you overstay more than 30 days, you could be banned from entry for up to 1 to 10 years. Okay, you, like I said before, you will not have any legal right to work. Employers will run immigration checks on you and make sure that you have the right papers to work. And of course, some people will hide under, using people's paper to work. But how long will you do that? How long? How long? I mean, it's not something you should just, imagine doing, because you'll be hiding for a very long time. Another thing is NHS charges. Once you go to the NHS, they will ask for your GP, which means that you will not get treatment whenever you fall sick. Even if you eventually get any treatment, it would just be very surface treatment, because you go to the emergency, A&E, and then they treat you on a very surface level. They will not actually dig deep into what's wrong with you, and then go and treat the root cause. So think about this. Another thing is a bank account. It would be very, very difficult for you to get a bank account. I know some online banks are there, but they are actually subsidiaries of high street banks, so, and which are regulated through Financial Conduct Authority. So of course they run all these checks, and they make sure that um you have a valid document, you have a valid visa, not a visitor visa. So it will be very difficult. The highest you can get with a visitor visa, many years ago, I think they used to do something called cash account. You can only deposit and withdraw from that account. They will give you card, but the card, you cannot use it for any internet transactions or any online transactions, and so many things. So there are lots of consequences of overstaying. Another one is the risk of deportation. The Home Office, or UK Visas and Immigration, they might track you down, arrest you, and you might also face deportation. I know people from when I came to the UK. When they get to certain train stations, they start to run, they start to communicate with other people. Oh, the police is there. Oh, try to avoid that area. Why? Because they are doing stop and search thumb printing. I don't know if they still do it now anyway. But they as you're just coming out from the train station, or you're going into the train station, they might just stop you and say thumb print. And then once they notice that you're an overstayer, from there you're going straight with them. So think about these things. Even if you avoid getting caught, you live in constant fear. Okay, imagine how life would be living in constant fear. Whenever you see a policeman, you just start feeling, oh my God, are they coming after me? You can't go to the hospital. You go to the shop, you are scared. You go to high street, you are scared. You go to this, anywhere you go to, you be scared. Okay, you can't get a proper job. You always be looking over your shoulders, making sure that nobody is watching you. And I mean, who would want to live that kind of life? Another thing is the emotional and mental struggles. Okay, this is real. This is real. Let's be very real. Beyond the legal consequences, the emotional struggle is even worse. Okay, it's even worse. A person looking anxious, checking over their shoulders, always afraid of immigration officers knocking on their door. Come on, you will not have any stability. You'll be scared. You can't build a better life. You can't build a better career. You can't go to the uni. You might be able to do online courses. You might not be able to register, because of course they will request for your legal papers. So your career will basically be almost at a stop for the duration of the time you are overstaying. Even to rent a proper home legally, landlords, letting agents will not even agree to rent to you. So maybe you might end up looking for people that can help you, like guarantors or something. Even guarantors, they still need your papers. So, or maybe people will rent it in their name, and then you start to hide and stay in the house. And I mean, that what kind of life is that? So what I'm trying to tell you is that many overstayers end up being very lonely and desperate, and because of that they become agitated, and that affects their emotion and their mental health. If you think that overstaying is a shortcut to a better life, Think again. Is a shortcut to suffering, actually. Okay, is a shortcut to, you might see people that have done it, but you don't know what they passed through. Okay, I have a friend I went to secondary school with. I think she first of all went to Italy, through all of these routes, not the proper routes, and then she eventually found herself to the UK without papers. Of course, that was during the time when UK was still in EU, and people could easily just come in. She managed to find herself in the UK, and I went to see her. And when I saw her, I didn't like the state she was in. Remember, secondary school, I said she traveled when we were finishing secondary school. So in Nigeria, I did my BSc, my bachelor's degree. I came to the UK and did my master's and PhD. I got married and had kids. She just got her papers like about 3 months ago. You can imagine that. And she has declared that she has issue with disability, because she has got lots of mental challenges, mental issues. I don't think that anybody I know, I want to advise them to go through that route. Okay, she was here, her mom and dad passed away, she couldn't go home. All she could do was so she started cooking, cooking in the restaurant, sending money home, buying things, but she couldn't go home, she couldn't travel for nearly 22 years. She just got her papers. So I don't think anybody should go through that, especially if you are even a woman or a man is not good either way, but I don't think anybody should go through that. If overstaying is not the way, what's the right way to move to the UK? I know you're going to ask me that. Here are the best legal options that I think or advise you to use to move to the UK. First of all, you can come through study routes. I'm going to talk about this. Okay, so I'm not just advising you to just come and study in the UK. No, I'll be making a video on the type of courses you can do for you to get employment in the UK after studying. So you can come in as a tier 4 student visa, and then you have your legal stay, and you can also work part-time. You can come in as a skilled worker, maybe get job sponsorship like nursing, IT, engineering, which are actually on high demand. You can come in on a business or investment visa, and if you have funds, consider starting a business as well. You can come in as a family or spouse. So you can come in on a family or spouse visa if you have a spouse or family in the UK. So you can apply to come in to join them legally. Of course, I'm not saying don't get married. Get married legally, okay? So you can come in, you can get married and move to the UK as well. These parts take effort. I know it's not something you can just wake up and decide to, to travel, but they give you real stability and a future in the UK, and they ensure that you have the type of career that you want to build for yourself. So think about this. So do not just jackpot, okay? Jackpot with sense. That's my advice. Jackpot with sense. Jackpot for a very, very long term. Not jackpot and then after like few months they deport you back, or you start suffering. People don't know where you are, they cannot hear from you and the likes. Jackpot with sense. Okay. So before you make a decision that could ruin your future, think carefully. The UK cracks down hard on overstayers, okay? And if you've already overstayed and watching this video, my advice is to seek legal advice instead of hiding, okay? Stop hiding, please. Just seek legal advice and know the right step or the next step to take. If you're thinking of overstaying, stop and plan properly, okay? So thank you very much for listening to this video and the piece of advice I have given to you. If you found this video very helpful, please hit the like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Of course, people planning to come to the UK or people planning to jackpot, okay? And then please subscribe to my channel. This is still a baby channel. I'm trying to grow it. Please subscribe to my channel and make sure that you reflect on what I said, and hopefully it will help you to make your informed decision. Bye.